Hey everybody, it's Grounded Roots Healing. I'm Jason, and if you're anything like I am, let's say a light worker, I don't know what you want to call yourself. In fact, it's not necessary to call yourself anything, but if, like me, you're on a spiritual journey and you're at a similar level to where I am right now, you are likely going through it. It's been going on for several weeks, really, to be fair. But I'm starting to get clarity, in particular over the last few days, of why. Why all of this? So today, I had a bunch of neck pain, especially right at the base of my skull, and then right over my third eye, just a massive headache. You can guess what's happening based on where these symptoms are. And it's a third eye opening, obviously. At least that's my interpretation of it. I am not a doctor, and I take no responsibility for your physical health. You must do that yourself. If you are having any symptoms that you deem necessary for a doctor to take a look at them, please do that. These are my opinions for myself, and in my opinion, there is nothing that isn't energetic. There's an energetic reason for everything. Whether or not that energetic reason puts you in mortal danger, well, that's a different topic. And whether or not there's anything you can do about that, that's also another topic. It leads into free will, etc. So, I wanted to talk about, well, I've reached a level of peace. Like, I'm struggling physically, but to me it's a good thing. I know there's something coming because of this. My confidence in where I'm headed and how unimportant all of this is. All of the things on the 3D perspective, how unimportant they are. It's so unshakable now that I just find myself at peace no matter what's happening. So I've had an opportunity land in my lap. It's an incremental improvement, if it works out in my situation. And there's two ways to look at that. You can look at that as a disappointment. An old me would have. Why haven't I reached the point where I understand everything exactly how it should be, and I have essentially manifested my wildest dreams? But that's not how this has gone to this point. And until I'm completely at peace with whatever happens, the ultimate manifestation will remain elusive. So I take it as I still have more to learn. And an incremental improvement is still an improvement. A better prison cell is still something better. It's a step in the right direction. Eventually we'll get out of this prison, this 3D matrix. But for now, I still have work to do. So I'm taking it as a win. And I'm sitting in peace. So if you're going through this, like I am, Don't worry. It's going to be okay. I'm watching people that I follow, that I know, tarot readers and people who do channeling, and they're all going through it. A lot of them are in a state of depression, which I know quite well, and was recently. Just blah, like what's the point of all of this? And this is the breakthrough before something major changes on the outside. There's no coincidence that a lot of us are going through this at the same time. It's not. It's not a coincidence. And I've definitely noticed the pattern. So if you're going through this, congratulations. It's something good. So this ability to know that none of this really matters. It's a tough one. The ability to let others suffer through something that you know the answers to. To not beat your head against that wall, to not try to save them. You can't. They are here to learn the lessons and the spiritual growth. You cannot take away their spiritual growth. It just won't work. All you'll do is beat your head against the wall. You'll frustrate yourself. They will not be able to even hear what you're trying to tell them. You're doing it out of love, yes, but it won't get through because they have something they need to learn. And the divine lesson plan will not be interrupted. So your words will fall on deaf ears. It's like they won't even be able to understand where you're coming from. That's the way it's supposed to be. So to sit back and let your loved ones go through this is the real challenge. I mean, it's extremely challenging to watch society go through this and to not be able to do anything. But it isn't your place to save them. You're not here for that. You're not. It's a hard pill to swallow. If people get on this light worker train and they think that they're going to be saviors and they're going to be able to stop people from going through these lessons, you cannot. You cannot. Your objective is to bring peace into the chaos. That is all. Heal yourself. Get to a point where you're embodying as much light as you can, which is why this is so painful. This little thing we're all going through, it's not little at all, but as the moon beams down on me, oh man, can I feel the moon's energy. It's not little at all. It's quite a big shift for all of us. It is. Very close to a full moon, and I suspect when it gets there, this is when we're through. But I've felt ill, like queasy. I'm bloated, retaining water. There's a lot of stuff that needs to go out of our energetic systems and our physical bodies before the next level up. And that's all this is. So relax again. But back to this watching people suffer. It's hard. It gets easier to do it at a societal level. To accept that this is what everyone signed up for and it isn't your place to do anything about it. And to fall back to yourself and your close family and to just take care of your body and be there for people when they need you. To be that beacon, that lighthouse in the dark. shining light out of this vessel, doing YouTube videos and hopefully finding people. And that's it. Not marching in the street, not screaming from the rooftops, not grabbing someone and shaking them into realizing what they're going through. Just letting it go. I can do this. Where it gets challenging is when it's someone really close, like your sister or brother or children or parents, people that you've known your entire life. That connection that you formed makes that letting go, letting them learn the lessons on their own, extra difficult. Anyone who's had children knows this intimately well, that you have to let them fail. You have to let them figure it out on their own. They're going to make mistakes. There are no mistakes. But they'll make perceived mistakes. You know, I've spent my whole life, like, believe this spiritual stuff or not, irregardless, we are going to be here. You know, in 100 years, no one will remember your name. Now, that sounds like something sad. Like, do you know the middle name of your great-grandfather? Do you know his story? Or your great-grandmother? A generation before that, there's likely you don't even know their names at all. You'd be lucky if you knew where they came from. And that's it. They're gone. Remember, if you don't believe in the spiritual stuff. So if that's the case, then everything that they've accomplished, they had worries. They had concerns. Those concerns and worries were big to them at the time. But were they of any real concern to anyone? Should they have worried about them? Did the worrying about them result in any different outcome of the worries that they had? For example, I went to university. When I was in university, I got marks on different courses, and I worried very much about keeping my average high and getting particular levels attained in different courses. And now, if I look back, I don't even remember what the marks were, and I barely remember most of the courses. At the time, attaining a high mark in a particular course seemed like the biggest thing in the world, and that if I failed something, it was the end of my world. And then I went into the real world, the job world, where careers were of critical importance, and impressing people and doing a good job and the outcomes of particular projects and things like this. And even though my family relied on the money for those jobs, were not important. I lost jobs, I got jobs back, I impressed clients, I got berated by clients. When I look back at this, what did the worrying get me? When I was out of work and I was worried about finding a new job, did it help me find a new job? When the money started getting tight and, you're getting phone calls from creditors and God forbid the federal government, what amount of worrying helped that situation? So this is just practical stuff. This is not spiritual at all. It's something to contemplate for anyone. What value does worrying get you in this, what I call the 3D world? I mean, it's at a whole different level when you start down the spiritual path about letting go and understanding that for me, nothing is an accident. I can't even change the outcome. So for me, letting go completely means zero worry. It's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. All I have to do is listen to my intuition, which I believe to be God or my higher self. Same thing. But if you don't believe in any of that stuff, answer me that question. What will you be remembered for? You won't even remember these issues in 20 years, 30 years. This is why people, as they get older, worry less. Tend to, anyway. This is a generalization, but what do they have to worry about? It's always worked out. And no amount of their worrying helped it. So they just learn to let go. Now I'm glad I've reached this point at 48 years old, almost 49. But like I said, to watch your family members who haven't learned that lesson yet, who are still racked with anxiety over test scores or what their boss thinks of them, or financial strains. It's hard to watch. It's hard to not grab them by the cheeks and say, hey, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not going to even remember this, trust me. It also doesn't matter what I say. All you can do is be there to support them as well. You should be there more often, obviously, if they're your loved ones. But the what they need from you is what everybody needs from you. Shine your light. Show them peace in the stormiest of storms. Be the beacon, the lighthouse, the safe place to fall, the calming voice. This is all we can do. This is all we're supposed to do. Drop that wounded healer, warrior complex, Messiah complex. Yes, you are. But you're not here. You're not here to scream it from the rooftops. That's a hard one. I just watched someone on TikTok. And she's like, I'm done. I'm done trying to explain this to people. I'm done. It's like people just don't want to hear it. And I'm laughing because they can't hear you. You're right. The system's rigged. It's a mess. The 3D system designed to keep you trapped. So if you get caught up in trying to explain this to everybody else and you can't understand why they can't see it, you're not quite out. It still has you. You're outraged at a system that the only way out of is to completely ignore. The non-action. Wu Wei. Effortless action. I don't know what it stands for. But these are what all the Eastern religions have always taught. Kung Fu. Flow. Flow with the energy. Ignore it. Ignore it in every possible way. Push out peace, love, light. And you will make the biggest impact. It's as simple as that. That's the impact you're supposed to make. And the plus side of letting go is I can do things like watch a baseball game and just enjoy the sport. The outcome of the game is irrelevant. I can watch the performance, the beautiful swing, and the drama that is a baseball game without being tied to the outcome of the game. I can just watch the game. I used to be a wreck. I'm a huge Blue Jays fan. Always have been since I was very, very young. And they just won a playoff game, which is wonderful. But if they hadn't won the game, I'd have the same result. I'd have the same. I still enjoyed watching that game more than I've enjoyed watching nearly any game in my entire life because I wasn't tied to the outcome. I just enjoyed the play. So, I don't know what this video is about. Letting go. Letting go of trying to save everybody is very difficult, especially for loved ones. But it is the only way forward. So, I think I'll leave it there. Like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all. I really do. And we'll see you soon. Oh, and go Jays go.